Okay guys, I'm opening this box set here on the day of its release, June 13th, 2025. This is the Françoise Hardy box set. It is being released a year and 2 days after her death last year in 2024 on June 11th. So this is coming a year later and focuses on her catalog from 1962 to 1967. And it just looks absolutely exhaustive. This is not for the casual fan. This is what a diehard fan who wants to deep dive on all those records she made, the incredible volume of records that she made. She made so much material. This box set is only those 5 years, but it contains 10 titles and 14 discs. I'm only going to be able to talk about what we're looking at, not what they sound like in this video, but that's the nature of this. So let's go ahead and try and take a look at what's inside. There it is. To be honest, I don't love this cover. I think the colors are great, but it's interesting that they have so many classic images that they've used and repurposed in this. And this image was never used on an album cover or of any kind. But that's a quibble. It's definitely an attractive, this is sort of like a cream colored background. It looks like here we have a printed sleeve that gives you all the song titles and the contents in here. So wow, oh, that is great. Look at that. Oh, that looks fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to open this up very delicately. I guess we'll go ahead and do it together here. I want to keep the shrink wrap on this. This will probably be the first and last time that these albums are actually inside this slipcase. I don't know how easy it will be to get them back in here. Wow, so let's see. The first thing in here is the book, which right away I'm a little bit disappointed that this is a soft cover. And I won't probably show everything that's in here. Wow. Okay, interesting. Wow. I have this poster. I have that. I have that poster. This is a concert program. So that's very cool to see. Those are some definite rarities. This would be on my my want list for sure. I have this poster. So I'm just gonna flip through. Yeah, wow, there's really not much to that. That is kind of disappointing that it's not a hardcover book. Here is the DVD, which has 59 performances. This is amazing. This is one of the great things that is in this box set. I can't believe that I can't wait to take a look at this, because these TV performances, the stage sets, the cinematography, it's just amazing. And I wouldn't want this box set to be any more expensive than it is, but wow, to do that box set and then to just do kind of a flimsy soft cover thing there, that's kind of a little too bad. Okay, so let's open the first record here. Okay. And I'm just taking a look here at the it definitely does look like a reissue. It's not really pixelated or anything, but it definitely is brightened quite a bit. So it's sort of just sort of brighter and lighter than the actual article. Just taking a look here. Wow. Okay, so these are all the singles. It'd be interesting to see if this is duplicated in the other pieces or discography albums, compilation, EP, and singles. It'd be interesting to see if this is the same inner sleeve or does this change with each album, because this looks like it's progressive through just what you would get on this album. But I don't want to say too much because we're still learning and looking at what's in here. There is the disc. That looks great. The label looks great. They're using the same logo here that they did on the recent Greatest Hits, which was it called the Best Of, or what was it called? But it actually had terrible sound on it. So I'm really hoping they've called these the 2025 remasters, which should be a completely different item than a completely different working of the material. So I'm really hoping these sound much better than that, because that compilation that came out earlier last year, it sounded like AI remastered it. It was just, I thought it was pretty awful. So I will say that these, this cover does not look great. This cover looks, it looks desaturated. It looks like it's lacking in color. It's not pixelated. It just sort of looks a little faded. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, wow. So this is really amazing. This is a different inner sleeve, and it has, what we're looking at here are different releases from all over the world, but it looks like it pertains to the time period covered on this album. So this is fantastic. What a fantastic way to listen to this record. This has an alternative version of one of the songs. It looks like it has the B-sides from the era. I can't tell if this one actually has live songs on it. I think that most of these studio albums have a live song or two included. This I'm really stoked for, because this is a double LP of Mon Ami La Rose. And, the printing on this is adequate. It's not a total fail, but everything is sort of a little bright, a little faded. And the real test is going to be listening to these, but basically what they have done is, on the original albums, they would take 4 singles that had 16 songs, and when they did the album, they would only have that contain 12 songs. So these albums contain, this double album version of here, it contains presumably all the singles, all the songs from the singles, plus live songs. Like, it looks like this whole D side here, these 3 tracks are live in 1965. That's just amazing. Can't wait to listen to that. And here is the album known as Voila. I can tell this is different. This one looks great. I have to say the colors actually look really great on that one. Wow, fantastic with these extra tracks. This has 18 tracks, and if you buy the album, the album in virtually every other version is going to be 12 tracks. So this is really just a fantastic sort of definitive edition of these. If this sounds as good as it looks and the song selection is, this is really going to be amazing. Same comments here. This is sort of bright and a little faded. Again, extra cuts. A live track. Wow, this is so cool, continuing with these all the picture sleeve singles here and all the different versions of it. This is great. I love seeing this broken apart by the time period. Okay, and here is the last sort of official studio album that is in here. This is her first album in English. I think that each of her English albums got progressively better. So this is sort of the most juvenile and somewhat naive sounding. I really like it, but it just sounds very young. It sounds very new. And her song choices got sort of more bold and more serious in the English stuff as it went on. Okay, this is where I've really been fascinating to see this. This is interesting. So this is a collection of all her songs in German during this time period. And this cover previously has only ever been used, well, it was actually used on the 1970 album Alone on the Reprise label in North America. And then this was also used by Vogue Records on one of her 7-inch singles. So this is the first time that Vogue Records has used this image. And it might be a slight variation on that image. I bet it is if we looked at it close. But this is really fantastic. This again has 14 tracks, whereas I have this and I have other compilations, and this is as complete as you could get, from what I can tell, of all the German material from that time period in one place. And here, same thing here, and that looks gorgeous. I love seeing that in the 12-inch format. That's fantastic, because this image was used on a Vogue Records 7-inch, and they've repurposed it here. But I really think that's beautiful looking. And here you have, I guess there are 22 songs on this 2-record set, which has all of the Italian material from that time period. That is just fantastic. This is something that, never existed on vinyl. You could get this on CD from different formats, but those are all just, questionable vinyl rips. I'm really hoping this sounds fantastic, because this is so cool to have a very concise complete collection of her Italian stuff. So these last two, there are two more records in here, and I'm super excited for both of them. Here is the Remixes 3 LP Greatest Hits. And so this is not a gatefold, it's a single sleeve, but it has 3 records in it. And these are remasters, I believe, from 1989. And so I'm really excited to hear these. These mixes have been available before, and I think they've even been available as a triple album, but they've renamed this, they've repressed this, and this is like, you know, a greatest hits of all the material that we've just looked through, but a different remix of them. From 89, which is a great sounding remix. It just sort of updates it a little bit without being a, you know, modernist catastrophe of bringing it into a time period the music doesn't even want to be in. But that's just killer. 3 LPs of her greatest hits of a different remix. It might seem redundant, but I'm actually really excited that that is included in there. I think that's going to be a great listen. And here is something that is supposed to be, I believe, only available in this box set. And this is Lost and Found Rare Recordings, 1961 to 1967. That's really significant because, you know, her recording career did not start until 1962. So this contains her earliest demos, which I have never heard. I have never searched, you know, every nook and cranny of the internet to find it, but it's certainly just